إذا الأمجاد قد عظمت فللأمجاد بانيها ومن يسعى إلى العليا سيدركها بما فيها ويبني مجده جذلا فروح الفذ يعليها ليصبح همة تروي عن العليا مغانيها.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another exciting episode of the ITV Math Show. I'm your host and presenter Mohammed Kota and we're shooting here from Rivonia in South Africa, from our studios, the ITV studios here in South Africa. Now guys, we are at crunch time. Today's episode is going to be dealing with, we're doing past paper revision. We've completed the entire content, okay? We've completed every single topic for paper 1 and for paper 2 over the past few months. And we are now into final exam preparation. So what we've done is I've chosen a whole host of past papers, IEB as well as Department of Education. We've taken all the papers, put them together, taken a host of questions, and today I'm going to be doing, so today is not a structured episode where we're going to be doing it topic for topic. I'm going to be giving you mixed examples, exam type questions, and let's see whether you can apply all the processes, all the techniques that I've showed you over the past 2 months from Ramadan, all those episodes, and put it into practice, and let's see whether we can score our distinction in the exam. Okay, so I'm not going to delay. Let's get started with today's program, and we're starting with, let's start with the IEB question, right? Question 1, paper 1. Now this is for grade 11 and 12. You know the first component of your grade 12 paper is your grade 11 work. Inequalities, simultaneous equations, exponents, and quadratic equations. So let's get started. I'm starting with a quadratic equation here. The question is going to say solve for x. And let's get started. Question number 1, this is grade 11 and 12. The question states 10 over x minus 2x is equal to 1 and a total of 4 marks. That's your question, that's your answer. Now by now, I hope you have taken out, you're all sitting with your scientific calculators. You've got all your stationery ready with you. You've got your ITV file, which I told you already in Ramadan to start opening, all your subsections. And you've got your writing material, and you've got your stationery. So let's get started. For many of you, while I'm talking or while I'm discussing, if you feel like you want to attack and then you will check with me the memo, no problem. Let's get started with today's program. Now, what do we need to do here? We need to get rid of this x. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to multiply that by x. Because it's divided by x, we're going to multiply the first term by x. We're going to multiply that by x. And we're going to multiply that by x. Remember, it's an equation. What you do to one, you do to all. So x and x will cancel. We're left with 10 minus 2x times x is 2x squared is equal to 1 times x is x. Now, it is quadratic because it's a square, so our right-hand side must always equal to 0, of course. So we've got minus 2x squared. Let's collect our like terms. Minus x plus 10 is equal to 0. Divide by the negative to get your coefficient here positive. So when we divide by a negative, all the signs will change. We're now left with plus 2x squared plus x minus 10 is equal to 0. Let's see whether they are perfect factors of 2 and 10 that when cross multiplied will give you a 1. Let's go to the side. Remember our previous from our previous episodes when I taught you how to factorize when you have a coefficient in the front. We said we're going to be using that snot-cop method where we have 2 and 10, 2 and 10, that's our eyes, that's our nose, the mouth is the plus 1 here in the middle. There we go. Now we need the tiers, right? So now the factors 2 and 1, 5 and 2. Let's cross multiply. 2 times 2 to give you 4. 1 times 5 to give me 5. I need to get plus 1. Can a 4 and a 5 give me a plus 1? Yes, it can. What must the signs be? That must be positive. That must be negative. And I also said multiply these two signs out. Negative times positive is a negative. My last sign is a negative. So here are my factors, guys. 2, 5, 1, 2. 2, 5, 1, 2. So break this up. Equal to 0. 2, 5, 1, 2. We need to get x squared, so we're going to put x and x. We start from the two terms next to each other. So 5 times 1x is 5x What do I need? Plus. So I put a plus. 2 times 2x is 4x. What do I need? A minus. I put a minus. There are our two factors equal to 0. 2x plus 5 is equal to 0, or x minus 2 is equal to 0. Let's solve for x. 2x is equal to negative 5. X is equal to negative 5 over 2, or x is equal to 2. And there we go, boys and girls. We got ourselves 4 marks for question number 1. Remember that quadratics, you need a strategy for your paper. We know grade 12s, if you are at ground 0, this is where you're going to be banking marks. You're going to be banking marks for quadratics, that's 20 marks. The whole of calculus, which is about 30 or 40 marks. Functions, another 40 marks. Finance, at least if it's out of 20, get 10 or 12 or 15. Probability, get another 10 of get 10 out of 15 marks. And sequences and series, if it's out of 20 marks, get another 10 marks or another 15 marks. You will be guaranteed 85%. You will be guaranteed your distinction for your paper. Okay, so it's exciting time now. We've got about 4 days for when we, after shooting this episode, we've actually got 4 days before the matriculants of 2015 sit down to write their final math paper. So we are at crunch time now, guys. So we're going to be picking up the pace and let's get started. Let's go on to more difficult problems. Okay, so I hope you've taken this down. Remember, if you still don't know that process of factorization, go back to our episodes. Go on to itvnetworks.tv, or for those of you who have purchased the DVD sets, make sure you go to the DVD on quadratic equations and practice on how to factorize. This is not the episode, this is not the time, and this is not the juncture in the year where I still need to teach you how to factorize. By now, you should know your work. Okay. Let's go on to solve for x, the second one. We're now going to take the one that came out in the prelim. National paper, Department of Education 2015 prelim paper. The question that came out, solve for x here. Let's see whether you can do this one. 2x plus 5 into x squared minus 2 is equal to 0. This was Gauteng Department of Education National prelim paper. So if you are watching from Cape Town or Limpopo or Port Elizabeth or anywhere else in the country, take these questions down and let's start working. Okay, now guys, this here is factorized already. Do not go out and refactorize this, guys. It's already in its factors. We've got two factors equal to 0. Many of you, what you did is you said first, outer, inner, last. You ended up with the cubic and then you factorized it. You just made yourself double work. So let's get started. We say 2x plus 5 is equal to 0, or x squared minus 2 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to negative 5, x is equal to, divide by 2, minus 5 over 2, or we got x squared is equal to 2, x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 2. So there we go, we've already got 3 solutions. 1 solution, 2 solutions with the positive, 3 solutions with the negative. So that already sorts the whole problem out and you got yourself 3 marks already. Okay? Let's go on to one of the... let's go on to another solve for x question. We're going to do the 2 inequalities. The one that came out in the DOE paper and one of the IEB. This was not a national IEB paper that I'm taking from. I'm taking from a school's internal IEB examination for prelim 2015. Okay, let's get started. Right, the question says x squared minus 4 greater than or equal to 5. This was the Department of Education paper. X squared minus 4 greater than or equal to 5. X squared minus 4 greater than or equal to 5. Is it 4? Yes. There we go. Right? Simple as that. That was the question. Let's put the answer down. Here goes. So we got x squared greater than or equal to 5 plus 4. Or we could take the 5 on the other side. Let's take the 5 on this side. Minus 4 minus 5. Minus 9 greater than or equal to 0. This is a difference of 2 squares, guys. So we break this up. Greater than or equal to 0. X minus 3, x plus 3. Right, what are your 2 critical values? Plus 3 and negative 3. Okay? Positive 3 and negative 3 are your 2 critical values. Those are your values which make your equation 0. Plus 3 minus 3, 0. Minus 3 plus 3, 0. Okay, now what do we do? Again, using the process I showed you. I'm not doing now the process that your teacher showed you. Again, I'm telling you, if you don't understand this process, you're going to have to go back to the episode on the ITV Networks DVD website, itvnetworks.tv. Click onto the ITV Math Show, go under inequalities and see the process that we're going to be using. Right, the process is a parabola, -3, +3. Just to recap quickly the rule is here on the side, pos or neg bet. Positive greater than or equal to, neg for negative, less than or equal to. Any number greater than 0 is positive, any number less than 0 is negative. For positive we use the word or, for negative x lies between the 2 points. So that summarizes our rule, pos or neg bet. So here goes. So what is this? Greater than or equal to 0. So that is positive. So what is the rule? Positive. What do we use? The word or. So we put or, x greater than or equal to, or x less than or equal to. Okay, it will always look like this for the positive. Whenever it's positive, we'll always use the word or. We'll go greater than or equal to on the one side, less than or equal to on the other side. We take the bigger number and we put it there. We take the smaller number, we put it there. And generally what we add is x is an element of real numbers. What does that mean? What does that entail? Why do we attach it? We say x being an element of real numbers, meaning that x could be decimals or x could be fractions. X could be any number between -3. It could be -2,999999999 going on to infinity. Okay? Remember, right? Oh, sorry. It's we're going on this side. So it could be 3,1, 3,2, 3,34 going on to infinity, or less than -3. So we could go -3,1, -3,2 and going on to infinity. Okay, what would happen if this one here was a negative? Just before we cut for an ad break, hypothetically this was a negative, and for those of you who want to see what would happen if this was less than or equal to, say the question said less than, then we're going to have less than, then we're going to have less than, then that will not be pos, that will be negative, right? And then obviously this would stay exactly the same, right? Your parabola stays the same. Only thing, x now will lie for negative. Where will x lie? Between the 2 points. So we put x there. We copy and paste. Double click and drag. Double click and drag. Double click and drag. So we copy and paste. And we just use the same sign that's there. Less than, less than. Okay, so x lies. Any of these values between -3 and +3 will make this inequality a negative inequality. Okay, boys, I hope you enjoyed our first segment. We are moving at an accelerated pace. I hope you guys are still online. Don't disconnect. Stay tuned. Take a break for 3 minutes. I'll see you in 3 minutes' time. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the ITV Math Show. Now, for those of you who have just joined us, we are now doing past paper revision for grade 11 and 12. Like I said in the first segment of today's show, this is crunch time, guys. This is past paper revision for matriculants 2015. So please, I hope you guys are paying attention. We are moving a little bit faster. We are going through the problems much faster than what we went when we did the explanation of the problems. So please, stay tuned, stay focused, and this is time now that you just need to start practicing. For those of you who are taking down the problems, the minute I put down a problem or the minute I put down something, you try and get the answer before me. I'm still going to be doing a little bit of chit chat to talk to the audience here and to talk to the viewers, right? Those of you who are cracking, those of you who are preparing, the show is for you. Let's put up the next problem without any further delay. We're going to try and cover as much as we can in all the different topics, and we're not doing it topic for topic. We're doing them as random as possible. Okay, the inequality that came out from the IEB paper, 3 minus x less than 2x squared. Answer, solve for x. Again, the rest... many of you already know how to do it. For those of you who still don't know how to do it, let's get cracking. We take the 2x squared on the other side, so that becomes minus 2x squared minus x plus 3 less than 0. We now need to get rid of this negative sign, because we can never have a negative sign in front of the coefficient of x squared. Coefficient of x squared must always be positive. So we're going to be dividing by negative. All the signs will change and the inequality changes over. Okay, only when you're dividing by a negative sign does your inequality change over. So from less than will become greater than, or less than or equal to will become greater than or equal to. So let's change the signs. 2x squared plus x minus 3 less than 0 changes over to greater than 0. Let's factorize that. Greater than 0. These are two prime numbers, so we don't need to do that whole system on the side. It's quite easy. 2x and x. 3 and 1, that's positive, that's negative. Let's check. 2x times x, 2x squared. Positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Plus 3x minus 2x will give me my plus 1x in the middle. What are my two critical values? 2x plus 3 equals to 0. 2x will equal to minus 3. X will equal to minus 3 over 2. That's my first critical value. You equate it to 0 and solve for x. X minus 1 equals to 0. X is equal to 1. We go to our system. Right? Many of you ask the question, do I need to show this? Yes, you do. You draw the parabola, put the bigger number there, put the smaller number there. Greater than 0. What is it? Positive or negative? Positive. What's the rule? Pos or neg bet. Right? Remember the rule. Pos or neg bet. Positive, we'll use the word or. Negative, x will lie between the 2 points. So now this is the positive scenario again. So we got or x greater than or x less than. That's how it would always look. Take the bigger number, put it there. Take the smaller number, put it there. X is an element of real numbers. And there we go, guys. That is the answer. That's another 3 to 4 marks. Remember, question 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 4, and 5 are questions given to you in order for you to score marks, in order for you to bank marks. You cannot leave any room for any errors in this topic. Okay? Let's go on to the next question. Right? The next question has one where we are squaring both sides. Okay? It is a grade 11. So grade 11s, you'd also probably be enjoying this. You'd also be using this for this final exam for 2015. All right. Solve for x. And we're going to, they don't tell you by squaring both sides. They just give you a scenario here. They tell you square root 1 minus x is equal to 2x minus 1 for 4 marks. That's from the IEB paper, internal IEB paper. Okay, we need to get rid of the square root sign. So what do we do? And yes, I know many of you are screaming there in the lounge already. If you're sitting and watching with your parents think that you are super genii. You know what's a plural of genius? One genius. Not geniuses. Yeah, okay. Anyway, genii. Right. It's like radius, radii. Genius, genii. Right. So your parents might be thinking you're very clever at this point in time because you're screaming out in front of the TV, square both sides. Yes, and you are perfectly correct. Right. We're squaring both sides. So we square and we square. What are we left with? 1 minus x is equal to. Be careful. We are squaring a binomial. So we square the first term. This is not 2x or 4x squared plus 1. No. It's a trinomial. It ends up in a trinomial. It ends up into 3 different terms. So square the first term, 4x squared. Multiply the 2 and times it by 2. Minus 2x times 2 minus 4x, negative 1 squared plus 1. Now collect all your like terms. 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. I've just moved that on that side. Plus x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, I've moved that. If I'm changing over everything on one side, you don't need to change its sign. If I tell you A is equal to B or B is equal to A, does it make a difference? No, it doesn't. If you're swapping both sides around, no problem, you don't need to change the signs. Only for inequalities, be careful. Inequalities, just so that you understand, many of you make this mistake. If I told you 4 is greater than 2x, now if I swap the 2 around, I can't say 2x greater than 4. No ways. When you swap an inequality, the sign also changes. Be careful. Be careful. If I swap these two in an inequality, 2x, that also swaps over, less than 4. Right? Unlike in an equation, if I swap the two sides, I don't need to change the sign. Okay, so just something for you to know so that you don't make that mistake in the exam. Right, so what do we have here? We've got 4x squared. We've got 4x squared minus 4x plus 1x is minus 3x. Minus 1 plus, or plus 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, how do we factorize this? Which system of factorization do we use? Is that a difference of two squares? No. Is that a trinomial? No. Is that a sum or difference of two cubes? No. What form of factorization is that? Highest common factor. So my highest common factor here is x. I'm left with 4x minus 3 equals 0. X times 4x to give me 4x squared. X times negative 3 to give me minus 3x. I've got two terms. X is equal to 0, or 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to 0, or 4x is equal to plus 3. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X is equal to 3 over 4. And there we go. That is the answer to that question, and you would get 4 marks in the exam. All right? Here comes another one now from the Department of Education, DOE, prelim examination. I hope you're taking these ones down, and I hope you are practicing on them. Okay, we're going to do the last one where we have exponential equations. Again, if you don't know the topic, you don't understand the process of the topic, go back to the episode on exponential equations. All right? Question in the exam, 12 to the power 2x. 12 to the power 2x is equal to 8 times 36 to the power x. Let's see. We now need to solve for x. And where is x, guys? X is in the power. What type of an equation is it? It's an exponential equation. Why x is in the exponent? X is in the power. All right. Now, many ways of doing this. Many ways. Let's see. We want to get the x's on the same side. I would say let's break them all up into their prime factors. Would it work? Let's check. Right, if I took the number 12, the number 12 we know is 4 times 3, which is 2 squared times 3 to the power 2x, is equal to the number 8. The number 8 is 2 to the power 3 times the number 36 is 9 times 4, which is 3 squared times 2 squared, or 2 squared times 3 squared to the power x. Okay? I broke up the number 12 into 4 times 3. Remember, we're using prime basis. What are prime numbers? 2s, 3s, and 5s. Okay, we've got 8, 2 cubed, 36, 2 squared times 3 squared. Right, let's remove the brackets here. So that's 2 to the power 2 times 2x is 4x, times 3 to the power 2x is equal to 2 to the power 3 times 2 to the power 2 times x is 2x, times 3 to the power 2 times x is 2x. Now, let's get all our terms on the same, let's collect our like terms. Now, this here would be 2 to the power 4x times 3 to the power 2x is equal to, you might be using a totally different method. I'm not saying your method is wrong. I'm just saying I'm just doing it the way, the first method that hit me. There might be a shorter way. Who knows? If you're getting it in a shorter way and we get the same answer, no problem. So this is 2 to the power 2x plus 3 times 3 to the power 2x. Right? We can see what we've done here. We've collected our like terms. Bases are the same. I add the powers. That's why I get that. Okay. Now what we want to do, we've got 3 to the power 2x. We've got 3 to the power 2x. They cancel out, because if I divide this side by 3 to the 2x, what I do on the left, I do on the right. That and that cancels out. What am I left with? 2 to the power 4x, right, is equal to 2 to the power 2x plus 3. Now, what you can do here, guys, you can break this up. If we left it broken up, it would be 2 to the power 2x times 2 to the power 3. Okay, what we can do now is we want to get the x's on the same side. So we divide this side by 2 to the power 2x. So that and that can cancel, because we only want that. We want the constant on the one side. We want our x's on the other side. But it's multiplied, so we divide. What we do on the right, we do on the left. So we have 2 to the power 2x. So what am I left with here? Therefore, 2 to the power 4x minus 2x is 2x. Remember, we're dividing, so we subtract the powers, is equal to 2 to the power 3, which is equal to 8. So 2 to the power 2x is equal to the number 8 is 2 to the power 3. 2 and 2 cancels. What am I left with? I'm just moving over to the side. 2x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3 over 2. And there we go. Like I said, there are so many different ways for you to attack this problem. This is one of the methods that we could use. Right? Let's see. Could there be another method here? I'm seeing something else. As I was doing the problem, without breaking it up here, I said, maybe we could have done something else. Let's see. Let's Let's look at an alternate method. If I've got 12 to the power 2x is equal to 8 times 36 to the power x, therefore 12 to the power 2x over 36 to the power x is equal to 8. Okay, this is 12 to the power x times 12 to the power x over, this would be 12 times 3, isn't it? 12, 24, 36 to the power x. Let's look at this. Let's look at a different scenario. We've got 12 to the power 2x over the number 36 is 12 times 3 to the power x is equal to 8. So now what do I have? I've got 12 to the power 2x over 12 to the power x times 3 to the power x is equal to 8. Now 12 to the power 2x over 12 to the power x would be what? Would be 12 to the power 2x minus x is x over 3 to the power x is equal to 8. Now the number 12 we know is 4 times 3. So 4 times 3 to the power x over 3 to the power x is equal to 8. Okay, we're still carrying on. In fact, if Mr. Cameraman can just go here over to the side. I'm moving over here on the top. So now we've got 4 to the power x times 3 to the power x. Remember that x belongs to both. Over 3 to the power x is equal to 8. Right? What do we have here? 3 to the x cancels out. The number 4 is 2 squared to the power x is equal to 8 is 2 to the power 3. So 2 to the power 2 times x is 2x is equal to 2 to the power 3. 2 and 2 cancels. 2x is equal to 3. Divide by 2. X is equal to 3 over 2. Ting, 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 ting. 2 methods. So let's call this method 1, method 2. I bet that you have done it totally different and you used it and you also got exactly the same answer. Right? Okay guys, we're cutting for our next ad break. You got 3 minutes. Take this down. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes time. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the ITV Math Show. We ended up before the break with these 2 problems, with these 2 exponential equations, where we said I did it method 1, method 2, and I'm sure, I'm almost positive that you have tried a different method, method 3 and method 4 and method 5, and you got exactly the same answer. And if you did, well done to you. Give yourself a good pat on the back. Okay, let's now go into the next one. The next one also came out of a past paper, right? This one is going to hit you for a 6, like our South African team yesterday that beat India and they were hitting clapping 6s. The next one's going to clap you for a 6. Let's get started. We say solve for x. We say x. Now, don't get a shock when you see this. Right, the next one's a little bit sticky. X to the power x square root x is equal to x square root x to the power x. Solve for x. Right. Question here with 6 marks in the exam. This is grade 11 and 12. This is grade 11 and 12. Came out of a past paper. Many of you have got the blue book past paper series. You've probably came across this question before. Let's see whether you can get this one done. Where do we begin? What's the first rule? We need to remove our third signs. Right? So in our answer, let's go here. We're going to be doing quite a bit of writing. It becomes a little bit tricky, so you need to stay focused. You need to pay attention. Okay, so if the little children are running around or if mommy and daddy is screaming, just tell everybody, hold on. Just hold on. I need to focus. Let's start. X. That's x to the power 1. Square root of x is x to the power 1 over 2. So it's a half. Okay, I hope Mr. Cameraman is giving us a good close-up shot here to exactly what's going on here on the screen, on the whiteboard. Right, let's do our brackets first. So that's x to the power 1. Again, this is x to the power a half. 1 over 2 is x to the power half to the power x. We good? Good to go. Right, so this is x to the power x. We're multiplying and bases are the same. What do I do to the powers? I add. So 1 plus a half is 1 and a half. and 1.5 as a fraction is how much? 3 over 2 is equal to, in the brackets, x to the power 1 plus a half. We're multiplying, so we add the powers, 1 plus a half, 1.5, which is 3 over 2 to the power x. Now we need to remove the brackets, so x to the power 3 over 2 is equal to x, now x is my base, 3 over 2. We're raising a power to a power. When we raise a power to a power, we multiply powers. So 3 over 2 times x is 3 over 2x. I hope you have that down. I hope you're understanding. Okay? Let's quickly recap. Let's get a close-up on here, and we'll say x to the power 1, x to the power half, x to the power 1, x to the power half to the power x. Multiplying bases are the same. Add the powers. X to the power 3 over 2 is equal to x to the power 3 over 2 to the power x. 1 plus half, 3 over 2 to the power x. Remove the brackets. 3 over 2 times x is 3 over 2x. Now, guys, our bases are the same. So if our bases are the same, what do? We cancel the bases. So what am I left with? You're left with x to the power 3 over 2 is equal to 3 over 2, which is my coefficient of x. Here, 3 over 2 is the power of x. Here, 3 over 2 is the coefficient of x. Right. Where to from here? Because many of you got to this stage and you stopped. Where to from here? Okay, what you do is you take this on the other side. So what am I left with? X to the power 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2x is equal to 0. Now we know the power here is 1. And we know this is 1.5. So I'm going to now factorize. What's my highest common factor? Okay, let's move up here to the side. I'm just moving up to the side because of space. Okay, so we're moving from there to there. Take out x to the power 1 as your highest common factor. Take it out. Take out x to the power 1. What are you left with? So if I took out 1, so minus 1, 3 over 2 minus the 1, what am I left with? X to the power half. Because x to the power 1 times x to the power half will give me x to the power 3 over 2. Minus, there's your minus. You took out the x, what are you left with? 3 over 2 is equal to 0. So there we go. We've taken out our highest common factor, and we've got two factors equal to 0. Okay, now I think you know what to do from here. We've got two factors. X is equal to 0, or x to the power half minus 3 over 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to 0, or x to the power half is equal to 3 over 2. How do I get rid of a half? I multiply the power by 2 over 1, or by 2. What I do to the right, what I do to the left, I do to the right. That and that will cancel out. So what's my final answer? My final answer here is x is equal to 0. That's my first solution. Or x is equal to 3 squared is 9 over 2 squared is 4. And there we go, guys. That is how we solve for x in this problem. Okay? Right? I hope you've taken it down. I just want to get a time signal from there. How much time do we have left here in the... Can we start our next problem? We've got one more to do. Before we cut for an ad break, let's see if you guys can do this one on your own. 2 to the power x times 3 to the power x is equal to 1 over 36. And that comes from the IEB paper. And that will wrap up our quadratic equations. We're then going to do one or two simultaneous equations in our final segment, as well as some nature of roots. And that will then wrap up today's show. We will then, in our next episode, go into all the other different topics in preparation for Friday's paper. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Stay focused. Try doing that problem down. Let me just get a time. How much time do we have left here? Guys, we've got 3 minutes. We just got the 3-minute signal. Let's get started. So we say 2 to the power x times 3 to the power x is equal to, now 1 over 36 is 1 over 6 squared. 2 to the x times 3 to the x is equal to 6 squared. When it comes to the top, the sign of the power changes. So this is 6 to the power negative 2. So 2 to the power x times 3 to the power x is equal to, the number 6 is 2 times 3 to the power negative 2. You all agree with that? 6 is 2 times 3. So therefore 2 to the x times 3 to the x is equal to 2 to the minus 2 times 3 to the minus 2. So here goes. Our bases are the same. Cancel the bases. X is equal to minus 2. Cancel the bases. X is equal to minus 2. Therefore, your final answer, x is equal to negative 2. And there we go, guys. That was the last question from the IEB paper that wrapped up the first component for the 2015 prelim examination. Boys and girls, hope you guys enjoyed the segment. Stay tuned. See you guys in 3 minutes' time. Okay guys, welcome back to the ITV Math Show. We are in the last segment of today's show. We are doing preparation for 2015. We are now going into the end component of question number 1, quadratic equations for grade 11 and 12. Okay, I've got two separate questions here. I've got one easy one. This is the one that came out in the prelim paper. But we're not going to assume that we're going to get something so easy in the final. So I've chosen one of the easy ones, and I've chosen one of the most difficult ones that you could possibly see. So now, let's see if we can do these two separately, and let's see whether you know how to solve a simultaneous equation, or how to do simultaneous equations. So here we go. Equation number 1, y is equal to 2x minus 2x plus 7. That's equation number 1. It's worth 4 marks in the exam. And this one here is equation number 2. Remember, we need to solve for x and y. Now the first one's already in terms of y. Let's look at the second one. Let's look at equation number 2. So in our answer, I'm going to start with equation number 2. I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator. So I'm going to have 2 into y plus 5 is equal to 1 into x minus 1. Now I know we don't put 1 times anything. I'm just showing you that if that number was any other number, you then put it there outside. So what do we have? Remove the brackets. 2y plus 10 is equal to x minus 1. Okay. In fact, what you can do now is you can now substitute for every. Now you can say substitute minus 2x plus 7. There we go. Minus 2x plus 7 for every y. Minus 2x plus 7 for every y in equation number 2. So what do we have now in this equation here? What are we going to put for every y? What am I going to put? So we've got 2 into minus 2x plus 7 plus 10 is equal to x minus 1. And now we're going to be solving for x. So 2 times minus 2x minus 4x plus 14 plus 10 is equal to x minus 1. Minus 4x minus x minus 4x minus x. I'm bringing this x on the other side. Minus 5x is equal to minus 1. What do we have here? 14 plus 10 is 24. Plus 24 will go on the other side as minus 24. So negative 5x is equal to negative 25. Divide by minus 5. Divide by minus 5. Negative and negative will cancel out. X is equal to negative divide by negative is a positive. 25 over 5 is 5. There we go. X is equal to 5. We now need to solve for. So now we say substitute 5. I'm just moving over here to the side. We say substitute 5 for every x in. We can go into equation number 1. Y is equal to minus 2x plus 7. Y is equal to, we've solved for x, we've got x, there's the x is equal to 5, right? So we got negative 2 into 5 plus 7, y is equal to minus 10 plus 7, y is equal to negative 3. And there we go, guys, we've solved for x and y simultaneously. Please make sure that you put it in proper order. Try and keep all your equal to signs one below the other. Remember, mathematics is about structure. 3 things that will help you to pass. SAN. Remember, mathematics, and I told you guys this in our opening show, that mathematics is about 3 things. If you can remember these 3 concepts, SAN, a little acronym. Someone told me this. My teacher taught me this when I was in standard 7, which is grade 9. And he said, 3 things you need to remember in mathematics. SAN, and I'll never forget that. Okay, I'm not going to give you my age on TV. But in any case, that was many years ago. Moons ago. SAN. Speed. Accuracy. Neatness. Work fast, work accurate, and work neat. The 3 most crucial ingredients to passing mathematics. So don't ever forget that. And hopefully you'll be able to tell your children in another 20 or 30 years' time. Right, SAN, speed, work fast, accurate, make sure all your signs are collected properly, make sure you do all your algebra. So speed, algebra, let's put it that way. Speed, accuracy in algebra, and neatness. Make sure you write neat. I don't have the nicest of handwriting, but at least we've got a little bit of structure, and you are understanding, I guess. Right. So that's the first question. Let's go on to the next one. The next one's quite hectic, right? Let's just get, and the last one's going to wrap up today's show. The next one is hectic. I hope you guys have taken that one down already. While I was doing that little bit of chit-chat there, I'm sure everybody had already started with the second question. 2x plus 3y equals 1. 2x squared plus xy minus 6x plus 3y minus y squared is equal to 0. And let's get the ball rolling, guys. Now, this is hectic. Why is it hectic? Because you're going to end up with a fraction here. You have to end up with a fraction. So you're going to need to pay attention. We're going to be writing this board full. We're going to be writing this board flat. In fact, what I would say, let's not just bring it there. Let's just leave it here. Equation number 1, equation number 2. You're going to have to pay attention. That's it. Full stop. Right, let's look at equation number 1. Let's all do it in terms of x. So we're going to say 2x from equation number 1. 2x is equal to 1 minus 3y. Divide by 2. Don't do it separately. You're going to make a mistake when you're substituting. So watch the process. We're going to divide by 2. We're going to divide the entire side by 2. It means the same thing. But don't make it 1 over 2 minus 3 over 2y. You divide the side by 2. Divide the entire side by 2. So there we go. This is, if you want to call it, you can call it equation number 3. Now we say substitute that value 1 minus 3y over 2 for every x in equation number 2. You were working in equation 1, we're now going into equation 2, and this is the crucial and critical part, because if the algebra is messed up here, game over, you're getting it all wrong. And remember, a question like this is worth 7 to 8 marks in the exam. So now we got for every x. So for every x here, so underline your x's. There's an x, there's an x, there's an x. For every x, what are we going to be putting in? 1 minus 3y over 2. Because we want to get everything in terms of y. So watch. We're now going to go to, what is x? There's x. 1 minus 3y. 1 minus 3y over 2. Don't forget the squared sign. Plus xy, yx is the same. So I'm going to say y into 1 minus 3y over 2. Y, x, x, y, same thing. I'm just putting it here because we want to get the one term in front of the bracket, not at the back of the bracket. Minus 6x, again, 1 minus 3y over 2. Plus 3y minus y squared is equal to 0. Okay? Let's remove the brackets. Very important step now, guys. Very important step. Now, remember, you can't multiply this 2 in because you've got a square. So you've got to sort that out first. So now, therefore, remember, we're going therefore. You can never have two equal to signs in an equation. You can't have equal to equal. Right? You got 4, you got 8 rand. So one thing can't equal, you can't have a double equal to sign in one problem. So you'll always have therefore and equal to. Let's remove. Okay, guys, so here we go. Therefore, 2 into. Be careful what's going to happen now. Be careful what's going to happen now. I'm squaring the numerator and I'm squaring the denominator. So be careful. Please pay attention. This is the most critical step from the entire problem. So square the first term. 1 squared is 1. Multiply the 2 and times it by 2. Minus 3y times 2 minus 6y. Square the next term. Plus 9y squared. Negative squared, positive. 3 squared, 9. Y squared. Over 2 squared. 4 plus, leave the y, y into 1 minus 3y over 2, alright, minus 6 into 1 minus 3y over 2 plus 3y minus y squared is equal to 0. We left everything as it is. The only thing that happened, so you might ask, so what happened between that step and this step here? The only thing is that we took that square and we squared the terms inside to remove the square. Watch what happens here. Please, you need to do this step by step. One mistake here. One mistake. And I hope that I haven't done any calculation error, because at the end of this segment, if my answer is not right, tough luck. We'll do the corrections in the next episode. Right, so let's multiply by 4. We need to get rid of the 4, we need to get rid of the 2, we need to get rid of the 2. So we're going to multiply every term by 4. Multiply by 4, 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 and multiply by 4. We're going to multiply every term. What we do to one, we do to all. We want to get rid of the 4 and the 2. So a 4 will go into 4, and a 2 will go into a 4. Let's do it. 4 and 4 will cancel. What am I left with, guys? I'm left with 2 into 1 minus 6y plus 9y squared. There we go. Plus 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times y is 2y into 1 minus 3y. I smelled success. Minus 2 into 2 once, 2 into 4 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6 into 1 minus 3y. Plus 3 times 4, 12y. Minus 4 times y squared is 4y squared is equal to 0. We still have brackets to remove. We still have brackets to remove. So 2 times 1 is 2 minus 12y plus 18y squared plus 2y. Remember, we're multiplying it out. Minus 6y squared minus 3 plus 9y plus 12y minus 4y squared is equal to 0. And there we go. We've removed all the brackets. Okay, I don't know how much time have we got left. Have we got about 2 minutes left? 2 minutes left, guys. 2 minutes left. Let's collect it and let's just see if we get to a perfect trinomial. Even if I don't complete it in today's show, we'll continue in the next show. So let's collect our like terms. 18y squared minus 4y squared. I hope Mr. Cameraman is getting this in properly. 18 minus 4, we've got 14y squared. Minus 6, sorry, we left that out. So that would give me 8y squared. Right? We've got minus 12y plus 2y is minus 10y. Minus 10y plus 9y. Minus 10 plus 9 minus 1y. Right. And what else? Oh, and we've got, so what do we have? We've got minus 12, minus 10, and we've got another 12y there. Right, so we've got, so that gives me plus 11y. Minus 1y plus 12y gives me plus 11y. And what else do I have? I've got 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Minus 1 is equal to 0. Right? We've got 8y squared plus 11y minus 1 is equal to 0. Let's double check, guys. Let's double check. I'm a bit wary on this. I'm a bit wary on this. So we've got 2 into 1 minus 3, 1 minus 1 times 3, 6y plus 9y squared over 4 plus y into 1 minus 6x minus 6 into 1 minus 3y over 2 plus 3y minus y squared. Up till there, that's correct. Multiplied by 4. So we've got 2 into 1 minus 6y squared. 2y into 1 minus 3y minus 2 into 2 times. We made a mistake. Did we? 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. 12, that's where our mistake was, guys. I hope you picked that up. So that means all this after that is wrong. 2 goes into 4, 2 times 6 is 12. There's the 12. We human, we make mistakes. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, guys, I think we've come towards the end of today's show. I hope you guys can continue. Remove all this. I'll keep this on for the next show. When we start our next show, we will continue with this program. I hope you guys enjoyed today's bumper episode of ITV Mathematics, the ITV Math Show. Go on to itvnetworks.tv. Go onto the website. Click on all our previous episodes and check it out. Okay, this is the channel you need to be glued on. You need to have your TVs fixed on channel 347. From me, Mohammed Kota, and from the rest of our studio crew, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الأمجاد قد عظمت فللأمجاد بانيها ومن يسعى إلى العليا سيدركها بما فيها ويبني مجده جذلا، فروح الفذ يعليها ليصبح همة تروي عن العليا